What up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. Welcome to another Just My Opinion live stream. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, share this with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me? So we got all that stuff on out of the way. We're going to get into some breaking news. So breaking news. This just came down the news wire. Sources that are close to this information is reporting that the Dallas Mavericks are expected to fire uh, GM Nico Harris after 9 months after the Luka trade. Now, I'm going to read y'all this article coming straight from the Dallas Morning News. So bear with your boy. If anybody would know anything about this, it would be them. Okay? So, this article was made by Mike Curtis. I want to give him his flowers. Really do appreciate this article. So, here we go. All right. So, Nico Harris will no longer be the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks are expected to fire Nico Harris Tuesday morning. Two people that are familiar with this decision told the Dallas Morning News after 4 seasons, one NBA final appearance, and one franchise-altering trade. The move came a day after Monday's loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Dallas are in the midset of a disappointing 3-8 season and has lost 5 of its last 6 games. The dimming hopes of championships that were expected of Nico Harris to set. As the majority shareholder in June of 2021, Mark Cuban hired Harris to replace longtime general manager Donnie Nelson. The Mavericks went 182-157, reached the playoffs 3 times during Harrison tender, including 2 Western Conference Finals and an NBA final appearance. But Harris would be long remembered as the architect of what's being called the worst trade in NBA history. His decision last season to trade Luka to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, immediate backlash from the fans who were chanting "Fire Nico." Okay, can y'all hear me clearly? Can y'all hear me clearly? Okay, yeah, y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me clearly. Okay, so "Fire Nico" became the universal swan song anytime the Dallas Mavericks find themselves in an unfamiliar position. The chant, the phrase in the phase, the chant and the phase in the main team's first game following the trade, and it raffled together a chant the first time Luka returned to the American West Center as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. 9 months later, they chanted during a home game as Harris sat in his new seat inside the arena, several rows behind the team's broadcasting booth. Uh, okay, headed Okay, but in the aftermath of the trade, the governor was lockstep with Harris, telling the Dallas Morning News, "In Nico, we trust." Okay, you have to respect the track record. They said you have to respect his intelligence. You have to respect the relationship and his judgment and the point of view and the way he communicated it. Okay. In the interview, they also said when you want to pursue excellence in an organization, you have to make tough decisions and stand by them and keep it going. It appears the firing Harrison was another decision they felt the team needed to make to return to the pursuit of a championship. The roster, once structured around Luka, with a one shot creator, a perimeter shooter, is the new roster and rooted in size with his defensive mind front court with severe lack of their former strength. Even worse, the team ability to improve through the draft was limited after 2026 offseason. The Dallas Mavericks had total control of the first round pick in 2023. Jason Kidd was only coaching was coaching under the leadership of Harris, who gave 5-year Mavericks coach a 2-year extension. The team continued was well, no assistant general manager Matt was a candidate to fill the position. At his final news conference in April to conclude the 2024-25 season, Harris was asked why he shouldn't be fired, and quote, "One, I think I have done a really good job here," he said, "and I don't think I can be judged by the injuries of this year. You have to judge the totality from the beginning to the end. I think I will have a really good working relationship with Patrick. I I think you can add in Rick, the leadership, and the reality. You have to see next year when our team comes back, we're going to be competitive for a championship. And in several months since that comment, the Dallas Mavericks are in a position to compete for a title. At this rate, they are heading for a second consecutive appearance in the NBA draft. Okay, so let's get into all this. That was a mouthful. That was literally pause a mouthful. Reading that article. So all right, so let's get to it. Okay, I don't think a lot of you guys are going to like my opinion about this news and about Nico. First, let's talk about the news. Let's just talk about the news itself. What I thought about it. I think this is a knee-jerk reaction. This is early in the season. Firing Nico Harris is not going to give. It's not going to be a. It's not going to make or break the Dallas Mavericks. Now, one of the biggest things a lot of people are not talking about when they're talking about fire Nico, y'all got to remember Anthony Davis is injured. Okay, y'all just got a first round draft pick. He struggled in a lot of games. He's trying to find his rhythm, find his groove, and at when you're a rookie, you just can't really depend on a rookie to galvanize your team to take you to the promised land. Only so few rookies have done that. The last rookie I can even think of that took a team to the playoffs was LeBron James. Okay, and we're not sitting here saying or speculating that this man is the equivalent of LeBron James at this state. I think he's going to be a solid player, but we have to give it time. Like I said, Anthony Davis was is on the injury list. Kyrie Irving is injured. Okay, so we're not even playing with a full deck of cards to even determine how this would have went down. To me personally, I would have stuck with Nico throughout this season. And then at the end of the season, if they go to the postseason, if they go to the NBA Finals, I will evaluate Nico at the end whenever their season concluded. Doing it this early is a knee-jerk reaction. Doing it this early, it just pleased the fan base that was against Nico because Nico traded Luka to the Los Angeles Lakers, and the fans have been on Nico since day one. I don't think there's nothing Nico could do to get that stench off of him, letting go of Luka. But you know what's so funny about fans? Fans are fickle. Fans, they de-ride. Fans really de-ride because if let's just say hypothetically, let's just say Nico gives Luka the extension. That would have been a big time extension with a lot of money up front, and Luka continues to not take care of himself, not you know evolutionize his game. He just the same Luka. Now you're paying him more money. And then guess what fans would be saying then? Well, why did y'all why y'all gave Luka that much money? Why y'all gave him all that extension? What Nico's doing? Let's fire Nico. We should have gotten a center. We should have gotten a perimeter defensive center. Why you put all that money in Luka? Why y'all do that? So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. He just called. Fans are fickle. Fans are emotional. Yeah, I would be upset too if you let go of my favorite star. But if I can see what you're doing and if it's benefiting the team, I'm going to give you a year or two. Maybe I would definitely gave him 2 years to see if this works or if this doesn't work. But we have already seen what Luka can give us. And Luka, the last time when Luka was, and people have selective amnesia, when Luka went to the NBA Finals, did he do anything? Did he win anything? No. And what was everyone's verdict when they went to the finals and lost? What the first thing people started saying? Oh, well, if they would have had a perimeter defensive center, things would have been different. If they would have done this, if they would have done that, okay? But that was after the fact. They had to make a decision. Now, to me personally, I think where Nico screwed up when he traded Luka to the Los Angeles Lakers, he should have gotten more. Because the Los Angeles Lakers needed Luka more so than Nico completing this trade. You gave Luka away for pretty much pennies on the dollar. Okay, no disrespect to Anthony Davis, he's a top 10 defender. No disrespect to him. No disrespect to Christie. No disrespect to him either. But you could have at least gotten some more draft picks, squeeze, some draft picks from the Dallas Mavericks. From the Los Angeles Lakers. If the Los Angeles Lakers had to get a third team to complete this trade, then cool. But I think you would have gotten these same pieces if you would have traded Luka anywhere else. Anywhere else. You would have gotten better pieces plus draft picks. I think that's where Nico effed up. Nico should have kicked the tires around other places and see what he would have gotten. See what type of haul he would have gotten for Luka. Because at that state of the game, a lot of people were betting heavily on Luka as a superstar. Okay, Luka as a future. I don't believe Nico should have respect that, hey, where he's coming from, he don't necessarily have to make this deal. But just only bidding with the Lakers are pretty much telling you, okay, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, and you just give us Luka, and then we're all good in the hood, okay? If that's all you're going to get out of Luka, I would have just kept Luka and signed him to the big time extension. By the way, people seem to forget, Luka, he doesn't get that big time extension in La La Land. He gets an extension, but nowhere near as big if he would have stayed with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, a lot of people are going to also say, well, why don't you just sign him to the extension and then trade him? Okay, that was a big extension, and the Lakers would have been out of the picture because they don't have enough salary cap room. Now you're making your pool even smaller to trade him, and now you're going to be forced to accept whatever you could have accepted to get Luka out of there. So I think the only thing Nico did wrong was giving him away for so little. Now I get all the, well, we wasn't sure about Luka, because in the off season they say Luka would gain a bunch of pounds, he'd be smoking a lot of cigars, he drank a lot of beer, and they're thinking like if we would have gave him all that money, he would have been dictating to us what he would or wouldn't do. I get it from that standpoint. I get it. But that shouldn't be the only reason why you're trading Luka. Okay? If you're going to tell me that the only way you're going to trade Luka if you're getting an incredible haul and it's going to benefit your team. No disrespect to Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis and Christie, that you need more. You definitely need more. You could have gotten more from the Los Angeles Lakers. And if you couldn't get it from the Los Angeles Lakers, then you could have gotten it from somebody else. I think you could have gotten that exact same haul from another team, if not better. Okay? So that's where I felt like where Nico effed up. Now, I understand the premise why he wanted to trade Luka. I get that, okay? And I'm in full support of that, okay? But how you got there, I'm not down with that, okay? So, yeah. Two, word around the campfire is ownership was not happy with Luka. The new ownership was not happy with Luka. That's a second reason why Nico was able to get this done, because he had to get the blessing, he had to get the okay from ownership, and ownership from the get-go was not happy with Luka because of what he did in the offseason and what you have seen thus far from Luka. Luka is not going to, you need Luka and more pieces just to get you into the promised land. And a lot of people seem to forget, if they would have signed Luka to that extension, that's even less money you're going to be able to get to build around Luka. Now, if you look at what Luka's doing for the Lakers, from their standpoint, they're winning. And the Lakers look like contenders. But are they going to be are they going to make a deep run in the playoffs? I need to see more. I really do need to see more. And I feel like this is knee-jerk action everywhere. Early in the season, you got all these people saying, "Oh, this team looks like they're ready to win the title." After 8 games in the season, you guys seen enough that, hey, this team is going to be it. I have seen seasons come and go like this, where teams are hot early in the season, then they fall off at the end of the season. You don't even hear from them anymore. So the Lakers look good. I can't lie about that. With Luka, they look good. Matter of fact, they look so good. One could argue, why even wait for LeBron James? One could argue that. Austin Reeves looked good, and it seems like Austin Reeves with Luka, that's a great pair right there. They also build around, they got a lot of pieces that fit better with Luka in the offseason. They got Aiden. The Lakers are rolling, okay? They're building around their superstar. And it remains to be seen what the Dallas Mavericks are going to be, because Anthony Davis is down. Kyrie Irving is down. Cooper Flags, he's a rookie. Uh, he's trying to figure it out. Okay, so if you're making this decision on what you've seen thus far, then this is a knee jerk reaction. I, I'm probably going to be the only one in the room that's going to say this. That's going to say this. I think Nico did the right thing by trading Luka. I really do. Uh, but I felt like they definitely could have gotten more for Luka, and if it meant uh, getting a trade from another team, then fine. But it is what it is, and they have to blame somebody because the Dallas Mavericks are not where they want to be. So the odd man that's going to get fired, you can't fire the ownership, you can't fire Jason Kidd. You done gave him a 2-year extension, and it's really not necessarily his fault. You have to make someone the martyr. Why not make Nico? It's not that hard to make him the villain. Everyone hates him anyway. So yeah. Now, I talked about the Dallas Mavericks. I feel like when everyone gets healthy, when Cooper Flags figure it out, I think the team's going to start winning, and they're going to start winning, and they're going to be very competitive. But people are not going to give Nico his flowers. They're going to give it to the ownership. They're going to give it to the new GM. They're going to give it to Jason Kidd. They're going to give it to the players when the players get healthy, and everybody is still going to be hating on Nico. Uh, I'm not saying this would happen, but if they would be very competitive and win a title, people are not going to give Nico his flowers because this was his plan. This was his blueprint. This is what he saw in the Dallas Mavericks, and unfortunately, he couldn't stick around long enough to see it evolve. Okay, now Nico as a GM, I think he's going to get another opportunity. I really do. He's going to get another opportunity on another team. And I think Nico can learn from what he did with the Dallas Mavericks. Quit trying. For one, you know, you know that Luka trade, you could have gotten more. You could have definitely gotten more. I think he's going to learn from that. And the next time he makes a trade on that, I don't think he's ever going to make a trade that on that big of a magnitude. Okay. Um, but when he do make a trade, he's gonna try to squeeze every ounce out of that trade to get more from that trade. I think Luca. Oh, I have no idea why. I don't even know why. Hold up. Why are these people calling me? Um, I'm not thinking about that. Anyway, yeah. I don't know why these people calling me. All right, so I'll call him back. I'll call him back. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got on this. I'm gonna try to do another live about Stephen A. Smith, Michelle Beadle, and a little bit sprinkled in. It's not really a lot to talk about, but I'll run it down real fast, real quick. But guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.